What's up YouTube, and welcome to KangBrosTV, the cricket section. This topic has been all over the news. It's between David Warner and Quinton De Kock. Now we're going to go through the real reasons, for what the situation was and why Warner absolutely went mental. We've all seen the pictures on the video footage. But the biggest question is, what is wrong with the Aussies? They love to give it. Is it that they can't take it? What is it? Is that how you feel? I mean, you always see it. When you played against the Aussies, when you've seen it on TV, they love to dish it out. So why is it on this occasion that when he's got something back, he's absolutely lost his shit?
Look, I think the Aussies are kings for sledging. That goes all the way from grassroots to the pros.
Yeah,
and they love it. Oh, they love it, and they like to pride themselves on it. They pride themselves on that. Now, from all the rumours and things that you hear from people that tell you these things, and people that are quite well known and well connected in the game, and this is what's coming out, and it's starting to get out into the media. But the reason for what happened was Quinton De Kock was batting, and David Warner called him a sook, and I think that means it's like a sulk, basically. In I think for Aussies use it as a slang term. And the other thing he said to him, he goes, your name, because he sounds like cock. You're a cock, basically. That's what he called him. And De Kock replied saying, the only cock you need to worry about is Sonny Will Williams in your missus's rear end, right? Because apparently Sonny Bill Williams had a go on Warner's missus back previously, right? Now that's what's led to it. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. That's what has been, mentioned and tooted around in the media. Now, what I would say is, listen, from the Aussies' perspective, I know that they like to really push the boundaries, right? They like to push the boundaries, It's happened against England, right? When it's got out and someone said something back and they've popped. It happened against India, right? Virat Kohli got very animated. Rahane, who's very, very chilled, got quite animated. Rohit Sharma got animated. Typically Virat Kohli is not a chilled guy. He is not a chilled guy.
Let's be very clear on that.
Very clear that we know that.
Yeah.
They managed to get into a spat with New Zealand. How the fuck do you manage to do that? The Kiwis are they're just the most chilled guys you've seen, and they managed to get into verbals with them. And obviously with England and stuff like that. With England, I understand it's the Ashes. It happens, right? But why is it that they're the ones that always get into the media, and they're the ones that as soon as someone says something back, they blow? There's a very thing with Ramresh Sarwan and Glenn McGrath years ago. Now, that was a very sensitive subject with Glenn McGrath's situation as it was. But we're not all born yesterday. We do all know that it wouldn't have been just Sarwan saying something off the cuff. It would have been something that had been poked and poked and poked. Shane Warne and Daryl Cullinan, right? There's a lot of banter about what he said, and it was quite funny. But Daryl Cullinan only snapped because they kept going at him. There's two ways of looking at it. As an Aussie, you've got in there and you've got a reaction. Well, we're winning, we've got a reaction out of him, right? But at what point do you draw the line then?
That was my question to you. I mean, you've played the game, right? To a very good level. In the sense that, where is the line?
There isn't one. And the thing is, you could turn around and say, oh, the officials have got to step in. Listen, officials are two normal human beings. Yeah. They're worried about no balls, LBWs, did he nick it? Oh, is it is that person behind square? Oh, isn't that a no ball? Or is it swinging? Or what's the can you move the sight screen? The last thing they want to hear is someone chatting shit behind the stumps. And the last thing they want to hear is a fielder going at someone. If you poke somebody hard enough, you're going to get a reaction, right? But if you poke somebody, don't expect them not to poke you back. Because when you go on bat, and then you have to cop it, and your mates ain't around you, and then it's just you, and then it's like, oh, come on, mate, that's a bit out of order, mate. That's a bit below the belt, bro. Hey, we can't have that. Oh, hold on a minute. Who the hell are you to tell someone what you can and can't say when you will say whatever it takes to win a game of cricket? There's gamesmanship, there's sportsmanship, but there's also growing a pair.
Yeah.
If you've handed it out, you've dished it out, and you've been poking at Quinton De Kock, why can't he say anything back to you? Oh yeah, you brought my missus into it. You can't bring people into it. Listen, what goes on out in the field will stay on the field, because I'm pretty sure everything that they would have said isn't always something that's appreciated by the oppo.
Do you personally draw the line anywhere?
I don't.
You've been a wicketkeeper for a long time, and you're behind the stumps, and you must hear all of it.
I hear all of it, and listen, there's been times when I've said things that I've regretted, and I look at it and I think I'm better than that. I don't need to say that, but sometimes you get caught up in the moment. But I've also accepted it. I've also copped it. Because, there's a lot of things that have been said over the years, and I look at it, and in my head I'm like, that weren't cool, what someone said.
So do you think things like race, do you think things like family members or personal life, do you think these topics are going way over the race, over the line, or do you think, or have you heard some of this stuff?
Yeah, I have heard it. But that goes back to, again, I've not played pro cricket. I haven't played those ranks, right? But I've been playing the levels building up to it.
Yeah.
You do whatever it takes to get any advantage over your oppo.
Of course.
You know,
it's been in the game. Sledging's been in the game for a very, very long time, and it's almost taken. I think in the olden days it must have been just as brutal.
Oh, probably worse. It was worse. It was worse because racism. There wasn't a cap on it, was there? There wasn't someone saying, "Well, you can't do that."
But there was also in that generation there was also a level of respect, in the sense that they knew it was a part of the game, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but now suddenly, so why is it all in the media? And why is and is it
mics and cameras everywhere.
I mean, but is it acceptable for Warner to react the way he did, though?
It's not. I think it's completely unacceptable, and I think it's harsh. Like, because this might be controversial to some people, but it's harsh to to give a fine or whatever to De Kock, because listen, what he said, it's not. If that's what he said, it's a bit like, fuck me. What's a bit much, if he did say that. As I said, this is all the stuff that's I've been told and what I've been reading and what you've seen. But let's be honest, if someone's going at you and saying stuff about your name and saying stuff like this, I've copped it before. But I'm different. I react differently to things. When people have said stuff about me personally, I've laughed it off, and I've kind of got that demeanour that it kind of winds people up opposite, because you're not getting at me. AB de Villiers is a prime example. They went so hard at de Villiers. 126 red. Shit, pal. Do you know what I mean? Just get through that. That's how he deals with it. But you can't fluster someone like AB de Villiers. Stephen Smith is a prime example. You can go as hard as you want at Stephen Smith, and he goes back at you with the bat. Michael Clarke was known for it. Love to chirp, love to chirp, love to chirp. David Warner's known for this fiery character. He had a fight with Joe Root, right, at a bar, right? And Joe Root seems the most placid man in the world. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, if you're the person, David Warner's involved in a lot of arguments, a lot of spats. If you go hard at people and then you get real touchy when someone goes back at you, I'm sorry, mate, you need to have a look at yourself. As far as I'm concerned. If people said to me, if people think I'm out of order for saying that what De Kock said was not wrong, it is wrong. That is wrong. To bring people's family members into a situation is wrong. But the way I see that comment is that he's got you there. You've basically tried to. It's like a heckle him as a comedian. You try to heckle him, and he sat you down because you said something, and he sat you down. Because at the end of the day, you're indirectly having to go at his parents, because his family name isn't something that's to do with him, is it? That's not his decision that he made. That's something that he's been with him for years and years and years.
You mentioned about the stump mics, and now you've got social media, and you've got all this extra footage. Now you seem to somehow miraculously get nowadays. Do you think it could ever get to a stage where things like sledging and stuff like that will be removed from the game?
No, impossible. Impossible. Cricket at sledging it has been, will be, and will always be part of the game.
Yeah. But do you think people now will be a bit more
savvy? Savvy to it, yeah. But it's a lot like this now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the footballers are like that all the time.
Yeah. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, you all right, mate? Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's come to.
It's what it's come to. But listen, there's these things. I think the stump mics is a good thing, because it does make you think twice about what I say, what I can get away with, and what I can't get away with, and what I should or shouldn't say. But has it stopped people in the past? No, it hasn't.
No.
It hasn't stopped people at all. Do I want it to stop? No, I don't. I like chat. It's good. It's just good to see that, and it's good to see a bowler a decent delivery, have a little rundown, have a stare, have a few words, and I love it. The batsman give it back. It's part and parcel of the game. But I don't like the scenes when you're trying to chase somebody into a dressing room and waving your bat and all that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, like I said, if you step into water, expect to get wet.
Yeah.
Right. If you're going to play with fire, which is what you've done, if you're going to have a pop at somebody and someone has a pop back at you, you've got to be man enough to either give it back, right, or don't do it, right? You've poked at De Kock. You said something, as I said, you've indirectly insulted his family by saying something about his name. Really, if you look at the nuts and bolts of it, right? If he says something back to you, which is, by the sounds of it, it's a fact. That's happened. Matey apparently got through his missus, right? So that's a fact. But what has happened is you've heckled and you've been sat down. You've tried to go at him and he sat you down because there's nothing you can say to that because it's happened. So now all of a sudden, what's your reaction to try and fight him? Come on, mate.
Yeah, I think the other thing was pretty harsh was that he got a lot of bad press, Warner, for what he had done. I'm not saying that it was wrong, but I don't think you should take away the fact that, I watched him when the South Africans made hundreds and stuff like that, he was clapping. So the sportsmanship, the gamesmanship is still there in the guy. So I don't want people to take that away from the guy. That was clear to see. So I think obviously, like you said, the heat of the moment took over him, and that's what I hope it is. That the fact that that's what's happened, because it can happen, and it's easily forgiven because everyone does it in just general life. It's not just in sport. But yeah, I mean, let us know your thoughts of the viewers who are watching this. Do you think Warner was wrong? Do you think you're reacting the right way? And what is your take on the whole situation? And you know,
and just going back to the point, you know, with the whole Sledging thing, David Warner is a class act as a cricketer. He is, you know, what he does, the way he bats, the way he approaches cricket is
can't take it away
top
from
drawer.
him. Yeah.
The way he trains, the way you know his field is set by example. He's a captain of an IPL franchise, which is in itself is something that you look at and think, flipping hell, all Indians, and you're going to be captain of an IPL franchise. Unbelievable. Leads by example, gets really involved. So you can't deny the guy that. But as I said, listen, it's not the first time he's been involved with controversy, and it's not cricket related, it's all chat related. And it goes back to the Australian way. They like to have a go at people. Now, it's not the first time that they've been involved with all different countries, and it's not the first time they've been in the media for it. So the point I'm trying to make is, you're all great cricketers, there's no denying that, but is it a case of they love giving it out, and when you cop it back, you're not as receptive? Is that the case? Because South Africa seem to be very... I'm sure that they've said some things that are a bit like, oof, but it stays on the field, doesn't it? And that's the way I've always been. You know, Aussies go hard. Typically, ones if I've played against in the past, they go hard at you on the pitch. They let you know, they'll call you everything under the sun. They'll say everything there is. As soon as that game's finished, they'll be the first ones at the bar to buy a beer. Now, that's the way I've seen it, right? Typically. But maybe that's got to change. Maybe if it's a case of, right, well, if someone says something and I don't like it, right, I call the lines. That is not allowed. You can't say that. But I'll say what I want. That's what it seems like. Yeah. I'd love to get people's opinions and thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, let us know your thoughts on this whole video and the situation. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.